school requirement. Here is, well, I'm trying. There's part of my audience. I'm trying to get ran. Okay. And the first thing I want to ask you is, how many college freshmen do you know that can save a life? Probably very few, if any at all. Would you know what to do if the person next to you started choking? I know I wouldn't. I think CPR and basic first aid should be a requirement for all high school students. It's a requirement for students to take a foreign language. This is almost a necessity anymore. It's very important to know more than one language just to be able to communicate with people from other countries now living in the United States. So don't you think knowing how to save a human being's life, despite what country they originated from, is far more important than speaking another language? I know I certainly do. Now, before you make any kind of assumptions, I myself do not know CPR or basic first aid, but it is something I am very interested in learning about. I think that everyone should learn the basics in high school. This would be very beneficial to students and young adults, especially once they start going out on their own. When you become a parent for the first time, you want nothing more than for your child to be safe from harm. But if and when the unthinkable was to happen, then you would be able to put these skills to work by saving the life of your child. Preservation of life should be a priority to us all. There are times when there's not enough time to wait for an ambulance. If an instance like this should arise, then you and those around you would greatly benefit from knowing these skills. You never know when an emergency will arise, but you'll be less likely to panic in the event of an emergency if you are properly trained and educated. This would significantly decrease the amount of unnecessary deaths in the United States today also. I am in no way, shape, or form, or fashion trying to promote the medical field as career choices for young adults today. I'm not saying become a doctor or a nurse or anything as such. I am simply stating that in the event of an emergency, it would be of great interest and value for one to be able to save a life, or better yet, to have their life saved. According to the American Red Cross, the use of CPR dates back as far as the 1700s, back to 1740 to be exact. Yet still today, most Americans do not know how to perform CPR. If someone suddenly went into cardiac arrest, proper administration of CPR can and will save that life. The American Heart Association states that 88% of cardiac arrest or massive heart attacks happen in your own home. So more so than not, if you ever have to administer CPR to someone, it'll more than likely be a family member, a loved one, a close friend, or someone very close to that nature. A short list of those who could greatly benefit from CPR are as follows. Someone choking, a person with fluid in their lungs or a drowning victim, a person with a blockage sending them into a massive heart attack, a severe allergic reaction, electrical shock victims, many different types of drug overdoses, suffocation, and many more. This information was taken from becpr.com, which stands for Become Educated in CPR. It just goes to show that CPR works. It saves lives. Why would we want to become involved in the preservation of life? We would want someone to save our life, of course. Would it make a difference if it was your very own mother, father, son, daughter, sister, or brother in need of CPR? I certainly think it would. And this is a reason to become educated now. Knowing the facts and statistics of CPR and how to properly administer does much more than save lives. It can reduce panic in the event of an emergency. It can give one a sense of power just knowing that they can save a life. And of course, it can and will save a life, but it may just save your life. In front of me, I have a timeline graph that came from information gathered off the website be.com. Again, this stands for Become Educated in CPR. This timeline shows how many minutes a person has until permanent damage is caused. Furthermore, showing you how important time and CPR together really are. In 0 to 4 minutes, In 0 to 4 minutes, brain damage is possible. In 4 to 6 minutes, brain damage, in 0 to 4 minutes, CPR should be administered because brain damage is still highly unlikely. But in 4 to 6 minutes, brain damage is possible. 6 to 10 minutes, brain damage is very probable. In 10 plus minutes, there will be brain damage, and be prepared for brain death at this point also. If you can get a better look at that. CPR is mouth-to-mouth respiratory action with compressions of the chest. CPR helps blood filled with oxygen get to your main organs. CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. It can also extend a life until more advanced medical help is available and arrives. In the beginning, I first asked you, how many college freshmen do you know that can save a life? Hopefully someday that answer will be all of them. Preservation of human life should be the first priority. It should be priority number 1. Everything else should follow after. Just as you deserve to have your life saved, learn to save a life also. Thank you very much. Here is my audience again. Think so slow.
Tell how they.
There. Okay.